To social media, they've gained a lot of attention. They've been around for a while, but social media really put them on a platform. Some of you may know them as Hebrew Israelites. What the Hebrew Israelites have preached isn't something new, but it was new to social media. And so a lot of people that had never heard the message or had never focused on the message began to pay attention, more attention, closer attention. One thing that I am wholeheartedly in agreement with, and we're going to focus on that today. For some of you, maybe you've heard it before. For some, it may be eye-opening. But I believe, due to my study, I have come across some information that I believe is irrefutable, if not near irrefutable. And that is that the slaves, transatlantic slavery, those slaves are Israelites. And that if you're descendants of slaves, you're descendants of Israelites. Descendants of Hebrews. Now at one point, I was aware of this. As I began to move forward and study, I did come to the conclusion that maybe somewhere, wasn't quite sure about all, but now I hold a position.
All praise to the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Rakakbadai, and double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone, for teaching this truth that's gone all around the earth. And shalom to the hopeful elect out there. It's your brother Altazawam from the great millstone in St. Louis. And we're going to jump into a quick lesson based on that clip that we saw with Dr. Fred Price Jr., okay? And I got that clip from, well, it was in the chat that we had, I believe, some days ago. I could be wrong about that, but in any event, the Elder Manat Zakba, GMS South Carolina 08, did a lesson on that, and a day or so ago, and I said that I would like to go into it and do a response. Okay, Elder did a great lesson on it, and it just inspired me to go into a lesson of my own, just to land back off of what he spoke on. And I'll pull a few of the same scriptures that the elder pulled in this lesson, right? And this lesson is for the benefit of those that watch this channel, but you can also subscribe to the elders channel at GMS South Carolina 08. All right, so we'll get into the lesson right now. And these Christian pastors, they know what the truth is, a lot of them, okay? And as he said, Fred Price Jr. said that, he had done his own research, all right? And find out what has been taught by the Hebrew Israelites is true, all right? And there's a lot of those Christian pastors who believe it and know it, all right? Now, just for a little background, this was his father, who he's no longer here, but this was his father. And I can remember my mother, my mother's also, in the spiritual realm, but she used to watch him when I was like a teenager. I can remember her watching his program. That's his father right there, right? And so obviously, he took over the church from his father, okay? Now, his father wasn't in the truth, and as we know it, today, of course, many years ago, like I said, we didn't know about the truth, right? We were still some people in the world, right? So who knows? Maybe his son will wake up. Maybe the people that he has in his church, maybe they'll wake up. We don't know, all right? But as far as his father was concerned, he was probably one of the bigger televangelists, if you want to call it that, who, preached a lot about money. Okay, that much is true. All right, so let's get a couple of things right off the jump. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 48. All right, and this particular chapter is extremely important for newcomers, right? Who into the faith, building a foundation so that you understand, okay? Because you got to have a starting point, all right? To build on, you got to have a foundation, and this is one of the foundational chapters in the scriptures for us, okay? So we'll jump in right here. It's verse 48, Deuteronomy 28:48. It says, "Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee." Okay, so when you think about this, what other people do you know of in history, right, that had yokes of iron put on their necks? Here you have, I pulled up a couple of pictures of a couple of different styles of yokes of iron. All right. See, this one I believe got the bells on it. Okay. Why? For a runaway slave. You see. Okay, but this is a yoke of iron. Now, you see a little bit of it here. Let's see. These are some of the terrible things that they put upon the Israelites. Okay? Slovakia. All right? So now when you go to even see, because Hollywood knows, they're in the know. This is from that movie Django. And what do you see? You see them with the mask on and with the yokes on, right? There was no other people that you know of, not the Chinese, not the Japanese, not the so-called JOOSs that are over in that land now. You can't find any type of history or pictures with them with yokes on. You see? So that proves that it was talking about the Israelites that were brought over here in captivity. You see? And part of that was what? When you read from verse 15 on down, it's talking about the curses. Okay? For what? Not keeping the covenant that we agreed upon with the Heavenly Father. Okay, through Moses. Now let's jump down, Salakia. And we'll jump in right here at Salakia. I was thinking of something else. I'll get back to 64 in a second. I thought I had something else I wanted to get in here. Salakia. Okay, Salakia. I was thinking of something else. But let's go down to 64 right here. All right. Something just popped in my mind. 64, and it reads, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." Right? And what happened to the Israelites? Right? When we lost our heritage, and we lost everything that we knew of. Our ancestors knew it, but when you come up to present day, Jake doesn't know anything. You don't know where he came from. You don't know. We don't have the same Hebrew names. We're the only people, right, who don't know this information, this pertinent information. They call you African Americans, or that you, as you heard him say, you're descendants, right, of the Israelites. Actually, that's who you are, Jake. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, but the point here is that the Lord put the curse of scattering on us, right? Scattering us to the four corners of the earth. Okay, and there you worship other gods, man. Fake false Jesus and Christianity, Roman Catholicism, voodoo, Hinduism, Islam. All these different things, man. We were not connected to our power. Okay? So we'll read the rest of it, and it reads, and among these nations, right, the other people, shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind, right? So even today, one of the main issues, if I could just pick one out of thin air, it would be what? Mental health, for Jake. You see what I mean? Okay, so we had a lot of problems, while being on this side, as is prophesied. All right. Verse 66, and it reads, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have no assurance of thy life, right? Because our life can be taken in an instant, in a breath, okay? With what's going on, ever since, 2016, 17, and there when, you start getting all of these police shootings of unarmed so-called black men, okay? But even before that, hundreds of years before that, they used to take Jake and tie him to horses and tear him in pieces, right? All kind of terrible things, okay? Hang you, skin you, tar and feather you, all right? Verse 67, in the morning thou shalt say, with the Most High were eve, and at eve thou shalt say, with the Most High it were morning, for the fear of thine heart, wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Right? We were rescued out of Egypt once before, but the Lord said, we break this covenant, right? These curses are going to come upon us, and part of that curse is the scattering, and that we would go on to ships and go back into another Egypt or bondage, right? And that would be right here in the Americas, okay? By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, right? Our homeland, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, or no man shall rescue you. Okay, that's what that word really goes into, buy. All right, because you had so many people who tried to rescue you to a certain degree. We can name a few of them. Sure, you had Abraham Lincoln, you had Harriet Tubman, you had Frederick Douglass, you had Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. You had all these different people, the talented 10th, and various other people, right, who tried to aid Jake and get him free, but it didn't happen, you see. Now, I'm not going to make this video real long, but that's just to give you a little taste of it, all right? So nobody else had these things put on them but the Israelites, okay? Now, we're going to look a little bit more into the scattering, because that is a curse in and of itself, all right, where the Lord warned of it, okay? So we can read these three, because I did a word search on it. And it says here, Leviticus, 26:33, and it reads, and I will scatter you among the heathen, and will draw out a sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste. Deuteronomy 4:27, and the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Lord shall lead you. All right, and you got Nehemiah 1:8, remember I beseech thee the word that thou commandest thy servant Moses, saying, if ye transgress, right, and which we did, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. See? So it's talking to the Israelites being scattered all across the planet. All right? So, yeah, the transatlantic slave trade started, okay, if you want to look at it and say, 1492, which I believe they actually came over here prior to that, like in the 1480s, actually, right? And then what? They took some of the native brothers and sisters back over, all right? And then later on, you had the slave trade start, okay? So they actually been doing this, you know, trading the Israelites and giving them away. Because if I'm not mistaken, in history, somewhere there in history, it talks about, I believe it was Columbus, who took, I don't know, 200 Native Americans from here and took them back to Europe and gave some of them to the Pope. You see? If I'm not mistaken, you know, I mean, somebody, if they want to, they can go back and look that up, but I believe I remember that, okay? And then so when you fast forward a little bit, maybe 100 years or so, maybe a little bit more, then you have what, 1619 trip where they bring the Israelites in, right? Particularly the Southern Kingdom, right, to the shores of Jamestown, Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So yeah, we're scattered all over. Okay. But we're getting into that point now. See, now people are waking up and they're beginning to understand this. And this is what's got these people shook now. Right? Is that the Lord, through the Spirit, is waking up the children of Israel. And they're terrified of it. Okay? Now, let's go over to, let's see here, Deuteronomy 28. And again, doing a word search, which shows you that we would be, once we're scattered, we'll be known as a byword and a proverb. All right? Deuteronomy 28:37, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. All right, you have an account here in 1 Kings 9:7. Then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them, right? For thou, as it said in Deuteronomy 28, and you shall see it no more. Okay? And I will cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them, and this house which I have hallowed for my name, Israel, see, will I cast out of my sight, and Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people. Okay, so what did they do? They called you all kinds of names. You know, Negro, Negroid, right? Nigger, porch monkey, black, colored, African American, spick, wetback, beaner, savage, Indian, Tahoe, tomahawk, red man. Okay? Those are the names these devils put on us. All right? But we coming into that time now where the Lord is working on, through the Spirit, on the minds of the elect men and women and children, okay, who will be saved, okay? But here in this land, you know, we have to go through that process, of waking up, all right, through the Spirit, all right? But this is the place where you got people telling you that, oh, y'all a bunch of niggas. Y'all not the children of the Lord, right? Also prophesied here in Hosea 1:10, it says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. Okay? And so that's what you're seeing now, and that's what Frederick Price Jr. is starting to understand. Okay? And we also found that account here in Romans. The Apostle Paul reiterated it. Okay? So we'll read this. This is Romans 9 and 26. Let's see here. Let's start up here at 25. As he said also in Hosea, which is Hosea, we just read it. I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not beloved. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living power. Esaias is also cried, right? Because Isaiah is another prophet. Okay, so you had Hosea or Hosea and Isaiah. Okay, also cried concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, what a remnant shall be saved. And that's what's going on now. This great awakening of the Israelites. Really, some are going to wake up to knowing that they're Israelites and be put back to sleep, or remain niggas in the world, just knowing that they're Israelites. And then that remnant shall be saved, right? The elect of the Lord. Okay? Verse 28, for he will finish the work and cut it short in righteousness, because a short work will the Lord make upon the earth. And as Esaias also, Salakia, and as Esaias say before, except the Lord of Sabbath have left us a seed, we had been as Sodom and been like unto Gomorrah, right? We would have been finished through. Okay, but the Lord has a remnant in the earth, known as his elect, right? Go over here to Matthew 24 real quick and we'll finish up. I think this is what I wanted. This is what I was thinking of earlier. Matthew 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake. See, those days shall be shortened, just like we read in Romans. If it were not for that, the Lord wouldn't shorten things up, make a quick work of it, we would be as Sodom and Gomorrah. We'd be through. We'd be finished. All right, so let's jump down to Matthew 24 and 29. It says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Yeah, he's going to come with his chariots. Okay, that's the clouds. All right, we talk about that all the time. It's not going to be puffy little white clouds that people think. It's talking about chariots. Okay, verse 31, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Okay, which is the elect that's scattered, all right? Because we've been scattered, right? That remnant shall be brought back. Okay, that is the elect. Okay, the remnant. We'll get one more and close out. This is Romans chapter 11 and 1. We'll read it. All right, and at the top you see it. It says Israel is not cast away. All right, so those in the Christian church, who think that the Lord is not dealing with Israel, you just don't understand, especially in the black church, that you are Israel. Okay, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, those of you who go to these harlot houses known as churches, okay, you are these people, all right, but you're in a sleep, you're in a deep sleep. Okay, so Romans 11 and 1, and it reads, I say then, has Yahweh cast away his people? Yahweh forbid, right? It's a question, it's rhetorical, it's answered, right? No, the Lord has not cast off his people, okay? For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. You see that? Verse 2, the Most High hath not cast away his people which he foreknew. What ye not, what the scriptures say of Elias, how he maketh intercession to the Most High against Israel, saying, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thy altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. Right? Elijah was a prophet of the Lord. Okay? But But the Israelites, they was just being wicked, being niggas, right? Because they're the ones who killed the prophets. Okay. Verse 4. But what saith the answer of Yahweh unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men, which is a number of completion, right? Not literally 7,000. Okay. Who have not bowed their knee to the image of Baal. Even so then, at this present time also there is a remnant according to what? To the election of grace. That's the elect. Verse 6, and if by grace, then it is no more of works. Otherwise, grace is no more grace. But if it be of works, then is it not more grace? Otherwise, work is no more work. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for? But the election have obtained it, and the rest were what? Blinded. See? So the Lord is not coming back to save everybody. He's coming to get his elect. All right? And we'll leave it right there. That's about enough. I didn't want this video to be too long. Just wanted to speak on it. Like I said, land back off of the elders' lesson. Great lesson. Okay, and like I said, it inspired me to go into it as well. All right, so we'll leave it right there. You can go back to Romans 11 and read the rest of it, you know, if you feel up to it. All right, hope you learned something. You know, Frederick K. Price Jr., you know, who knows? He may wake up fully, okay? He may wake up fully, and maybe some of the people in there wake up, all right? And they'll understand that the Israelites, they'll learn the name Yahweh, okay, in the name of his son, by Hashem, in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, you know, maybe, all right? It remains to be seen, okay? But those of you out there who are in this truth, and those of you who are learning, hey, you know what I mean? You know, we put these lessons out here to edify you and help you to build your foundation and understand, starting with the apostles, great millstone, the elders and the bishops, all the way down to the youngest brother, all right? Doing this work so that it may edify you and build you up, okay? So we'll leave it right there, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakak Badash, and double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone, all right, for teaching this truth, okay? To the point to the ears is getting to the ears of the Christian churches, okay? So with that, we'll leave it right there. I'll say shalom.